Won't you stay? We'll put on the date and we'll talk in present tenses.
Is it recording?
Yeah. You ready? Hello, folks! This is our first Bachelorette recap.
Bachelorette recap.
This week, a bunch of exciting stuff happened. This is the second episode. Is that right? Oh, no. This is the second episode, and we had so much crazy stuff go down. This is going to be a really enchanting season.
Enchanting. Chris is a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, that's true.
I just blew snot out of my nose when you said enchanting.
I was you were trying to tell me that I had something on mine.
No, I just blew snot out.
You were like.
I was just rubbing my own. Okay. Are you trying to snort cocaine?
Yeah, I know. Don't tell everybody. So, there's a couple things we wanted to talk about that happened this week on The Bachelorette. I think there's like 5 things. And then 6 things.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple things, there was a lot. We could talk about a lot, but we're just going to hit our 2. Oh, was that the chair?
It was the chair, probably.
That was the chair.
Okay, let's do it in the order.
Yeah.
Not on this list, but that happened in the show.
Good idea.
So, the first thing that happened in the show was the first group date, which was husband material and starred Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis.
The Kutch.
Yes, that sounds bad.
The Kutch and the Coon.
And they're huge Bachelor and Bachelorette fans, and they had reached out and wanted to help out with Rachel's season, and so they kind of helped lead this because they're married and they're like relationship goals for everybody in this world. So,
Ashton Kutcher was wearing a shirt that said "Trophy Dad." Husband. Trophy husband.
Yeah.
Well, I brought some of my friends to help me out today. Hello, gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
They may look a little familiar to you guys.
That's my girl!
So we turn a corner, and it's Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. What the heck? The most perfect couple in Hollywood right now. This is pretty cool.
We're huge fans of the show. We want to help you
The
find
show is
your
our
husband.
guilty pleasure.
We came on because we love Rachel. And when we found out that she was going to be the Bachelorette, we freaked out and called the producers and asked if we can help her find a husband. And so
But
here we
because
are.
she's looking for husband stuff, not
yes,
like just
yes, she
like
wants like a
date
partner
guy
in
stuff.
life and in love. We
She's
need
looking
in
for
both.
men with health insurance.
Yes.
First of all, that was cool because we love them. But secondly, what was so funny about especially Ashton Kutcher was his just blatant dislike of every single guy that was there.
He didn't like any
It
of
was
them.
hilarious.
None of them at all. And Mila Kunis wasn't too excited about any of them
No.
either.
No. Especially since Whaboom guy was actually on this particular group date.
We hate Lucas, don't we? Yeah, you don't like Lucas. Yeah, you'll never play with his child.
Lucas, the baby!
Baby's head keeps dunking in the water. I'm like, are you okay, baby?
You're drowning the baby, Lucas!
No, baby! I frickin' sprint like a madman. And Kenny's behind me. Get out of here, Kenny, you son of a bitch! You're not gonna beat me!
Ah! Go!
And I just give him a straight arm. I'm like, whoa! Get out of my face!
Wow, that was a show!
Whaboom hits me with a stiff arm. Like, what does Whaboom think he is, Eric Dickerson?
You son of a bitch! Ah!
He won the group date, which you could tell Rachel was not thrilled about. And then Ashton Kutcher goes into this questioning of what even is Whaboom, and it was a pretty funny exchange he and Mila Kunis.
Yeah, I love that Mila Kunis was like, "Whaboom, it's the sound he makes."
Yeah,
It's
and
him.
he was like, "Why?" And she goes, "Just because he can."
Because he can. And then he did it, and there was just like the crickets noise. It was just silence. And then they were like, "Well, there's that. Everybody hates Whaboom."
Yes. Yes. But speaking of Whaboom, there's one person that hates Whaboom the most.
So much.
And that is
us.
But also, aspiring drummer,
What's his name?
aka
Blake.
E. Not Blakey, but his last name starts with an E.
Blake E.
There was a lot of emotional sparring. There was an emotional sparring match, rather.
It was.
Between the two of them. And super annoying, Blake goes to Rachel on the very first date and throws Whaboom under the bus
He
for
used
no
his
reason at all.
precious time. You don't get much time with a bachelor or bachelorette when you're a contestant
And
on
those
the show.
people that stir up the drama with other people,
They're gone immediately.
they always go.
Immediately they're gone. Maybe that was
Eventually.
his goal. Maybe he just wants to be the person that
It's
like
not.
is attractive enough to make it to Bachelor in Paradise. I don't think it's gonna happen for him. I just really don't. There was some interesting stuff that happened though, because he was talking about how he knows Lucas, otherwise known as Whaboom, from he described it as like a past experience or something
Which
like
sounds
that.
like it may have been sexual.
It totally sounded
But-
sexual.
Well,
Who knows? Well, okay, so we did some digging, and here's what we found. You can also check out the article in the description below because it's worth a read. It's definitely interesting. But Blake and Lucas were on another reality television show called, what's it called?
X-Isle. Spelled EX like an ex-boyfriend, and Isle as in an island, I-S-L-E.
But it's supposed to sound like Exile. And it's hosted by Carmen Electra, of all people. So they're both on that show together, right? Now, on that show, Lucas was dating this girl. I guess she broke up with him. Or
No.
She cheated on him?
Yeah, so they were on there together because of, I don't know. And they kept bringing in these like new hot people onto the island to tempt the relationship.
Oh no.
And Blake was one of the hot bodies that was brought onto the island and slept with Lucas's girlfriend at the time. Now, what we find out on The Bachelorette last night was that Whaboom, Lucas's
Ex-boyfriend.
ex-girlfriend, was actually living with, as a roommate,
Yeah,
Blake,
with Blake.
who had just evicted her.
Yeah. Like, is in the process of evicting her while he's on the show.
You can't make this up.
So
you
it
can't
gets,
make this up.
It gets so good though because when he's talking to Rachel on their one-on-one, he announces to Rachel that he lives with Whaboom's ex-girlfriend, and Rachel
you should
was
have
like,
seen her face.
she was like, "Oh, so we're here now." And
Yeah.
she said something like that, and he dug himself a hole, and he didn't even know he did it.
But how did you do today? Like, how was it for you?
The competition thing kind of pissed me off, and, you know, Whaboom, just go
Not
away,
a fan?
please. Not
Okay,
a fan.
Not a fan.
I've had to bite my tongue a lot since I've been here. I didn't want to make this about the Blake and Lucas show.
Like, is it something like personally that was done to you?
No, he's
or-
just not here for the right reasons because I live with his ex-girlfriend. She's my roommate, and
Wait.
I didn't want to get into this, but it's gonna happen now.
We're here. We've arrived.
Yeah.
Now this is the guy that on the first season was talking about how much, or the first episode was talking about how much women love him because they love his penis and he's a sex god and he's got an enormous penis. So I guess we expected this kind of behavior of him at some point in time. I'm just surprised that it happened on the second episode.
First date.
It's crazy.
Crazy. But all that drama aside, Rachel had an amazing one-on-one date this week.
She did.
Amazing. With Peter, Salt and Pepper Peter. So before the date started, Rachel was kind of providing this ominous possibility that somebody, an old friend of hers, would be joining the date. We kind of saw through it. Didn't really trick
we knew
us.
who it was right away.
Chris knew right away it was Cooper. It's not actually Cooper.
Oh, I was like, I
Copper.
thought his name was Copper. I keep calling the dog Cooper and I don't know why.
So she asks Peter if they can bring her friend on the date who was just recently injured, and out jumps the cutest dog with this little cast, and it's like wobbling to Rachel, just pure excitement on its face, and I may have gotten really excited about it.
One of my best friends was in a really, really bad accident. And I haven't seen them in a really long time. And so if that's okay with you, I'd really, really like for him to come with us.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Is this an ex-boyfriend? Hi.
This is Copper.
This is your dog?
Yes.
What? What happened?
That's another story. We can talk about it inside. But
Okay.
Copper is going to join us today. Can you say hi? Copper, say hi to Peter.
Hi, Copper. I'm Peter. Thank you for letting me share a date with your mom.
According to Rachel's Twitter account.
Oh, according to Rachel's Twitter, the official Bachelorette Twitter, the dog broke his toe.
He jumped off of something, is what it
Off
said.
of something, broke his toe. Poor Copper. What a bummer.
I know.
Beautiful dog.
Yes.
More beautiful than Peter, maybe.
Different kinds of pretty.
Gap-toothed Peter, he's just great. They clicked immediately. They were having so much fun on this date. It was just so simple, which was really cool to see. Because I feel like when she was with Nick, it felt like, it just never felt like it was real. And it's kind of cool to see her already have like a pretty transparent seeming relationship with two people on the show. The chiropractor dude and this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Dean was really cool too. So she's already off to a good start with 3 really good guys.
They all look alike.
They do. Except for that guy has huge cheeks.
Yeah. But I think the reason why it was so fake previously is because Nick is.
Nick's a horrible person. I hope he's not watching this.
I don't care if he's watching. Anyway.
So they both have gap teeth though, and they bonded over that big time. And actually, mad props to Rachel, because she went to the dentist at some point in time, spoilers, to take
Spoiler, Rachel went
Yeah.
to the dentist, guys.
Spoilers from the past. And she was going to see if she can get her teeth fixed. The dentist said, hey, you could, or you could just keep them like they are because it's character. And she stuck with it. And she stuck with her guns forever, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from their date is I wonder if they're gonna kiss and their teeth will get stuck in each other like this, and then they'll have to get married because they can't decouple from each other's mouths. I'm banking on it. It's gonna happen at some point. You heard it here first. What's next?
So then the drama unfolds and gets really intense toward the last 3 quarters of the show. That's when she goes on her second group date with what it appeared to be the guys that she kind of had a better connection with. In the previous episode, it was like all of them were on one date together. And so everything is going okay. It's a basketball date. Rachel looks adorable in her all black workout outfit and her bandana, which I just love.
She always has cool clothes.
She does. Chris always comments on it too. Because her clothes are just so cool. But anyway, in order to teach the guys some lessons, especially the ones who had played very little basketball or none at all, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar showed up, and I was doing a little research, and apparently he's a huge Bachelor Nation fan.
Yeah.
And he wrote this article a while back about how the Bachelor and Bachelorette are ruining romance and how there's no diversity in it whatsoever, and was really giving ABC a hard time about it. They reached out to him and said, hey, our next Bachelorette is going to be African American, and we want you to appear on our show because we're trying to make it more diverse.
That's cool.
So he showed up on this episode and kind of coached the guys and coached Rachel a little bit on what makes a good relationship.
Basketball is a really good game to connect to romance because it's about teamwork. If you're not really committed to each other and for each other, it goes south really quick. Such an important decision. Such an important decision.
One of his takeaways was that you don't have to be good at basketball to be good at marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good news for both
So
of us.
positive advice.
Maybe
Yeah.
you used to be really good at basketball, actually.
I did, surprisingly, for a short girl. Yeah. But that's not the most. That wasn't the big part of what happened. DeMario's ex or girlfriend or friend with benefits or whoever she was shows up I'm not really sure how that happened. I'm curious to know how she reached out, how she got into the gym, all of these things. And even if she was just there to, like, you know, maybe Demario screwed her over and she was just there to get revenge or get her 15 minutes. But either way, she was there to reflect some light on Demario's true character.
You know what I love about that too? Was that, like, there was this whole stadium full of people, and she was probably in that
Just
stadium
hanging out
full
there
of people
watching.
just chilling,
Yeah.
while Demario was out there
About
playing ball.
to brag the news.
Yeah.
So, basically she said that Demario had just slept with her.
You thought you could walk on with an engagement ring in your pocket and tell this girl you were ready to wife her when you were in my bed weeks before. You were texting me.
And had the keys to her apartment.
But he literally still has the keys to my apartment.
And he had just kind of stopped talking to her for
Ghosted.
a couple of days. Ghosted her, as she said. And she didn't seem very bright, but... And her eyebrows really bothered me. And there was just a lot.
It was a
Her
weird...
boobs were awful. She was real skanky.
It was a weird sequence of events.
But anyway, she basically said that he had disappeared, and then she saw him on the final rose of Nick's season, where 4 of the guys that were going to be on Rachel's season already got to meet her. So she's watching this and sees Demario on there, flips out, and he still won't respond to her, and
She
so
thought they were in a relationship until she saw him on the final rose.
That's what she says.
Yeah,
so when Demario saw her for the first time, he goes, "Who is this?" And then it started explaining that he had in fact slept with her. What was it?
No, he
what
like
was it
came
he
out.
said?
He came out and he was like, "Oh, who's this?" Like he knew immediately. And then a couple minutes later, she
Many
was like
times ago,
introducing. Yeah, that's what it was. She was introducing herself, and he was like, "Yeah, I knew her from many times ago," which
And
is
many
probably
times ago, meaning many sexes.
that's what it sounds like. It's probably the worst way that he could have set himself up for failure in this.
And what's really funny is right after he said that, Rachel goes, "I don't even know what you're trying to say. Can you please explain this to me again?" It was really funny.
The guy's trying to argue with a prosecutor.
So yeah, he has no chance
he was
because
an
she's
idiot,
amazing
too.
and she's brilliant and she's a goddess.
He was so stupid. The whole time she was like telling him like, "I'm not here to be played." He was like, 100%, yeah, totally, 100%, 1,000%,
yeah.
1,000%, 100%.
100% must be his nervous tick. But all that aside,
He was so gross.
probably my very favorite moment of the entire evening was when Rachel GTFO'd him.
She sure did.
So let me tell you something. I'm not here to be played. I'm not here to be made a joke of, which is what I feel like you're doing right now with me. So I'm really gonna need you to get the out. I don't like being embarrassed. Like, I can't even look at you right now.
She dropped the F-bomb on him and told him to get out. And also, I think my second favorite part was when she explained it to the guys and they were all livid.
They were so mad.
And I think she felt very protected by them, so it made her feel a little bit better from it. So he shows up at the end. He wants to talk to her, I guess. Whether he is going to just apologize or he's going to beg for another spot to continue on the show. I'm crossing my fingers and praying that Rachel isn't stupid and lets him back on the show. I don't think she is. She's brilliant, but left us on a to be continued. Yay! Which is the newest thing The Bachelor likes. The Bachelor Nation shows like to do is leave you on a cliffhanger every single episode.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating, FYI.
So frustrating.
But either way, it had me going no at the end, which I guess is their intention. So that's a little recap of this week's episode.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes. Overall, I thought it was a really, really good episode. It was a lot of fun. One of the things that I also really respected about Rachel is, like, in the sake of good television, you know that the Bachelorette producers, like, took this woman, real story or not, they may have just drudged up someone from Demario's past. I don't know. It seems pretty true. because DeMario is totally a sleazeball. We called it pretty quickly in the last episode. So, I don't know. I mean, I totally feel like the Bachelorette producers like staged a lot of the encounter, put Rachel into it without her knowing it for the sake of good television. And I love that Rachel just wasn't having it. Like, she wasn't gonna go talk with Chris. She was avoiding the camera people.
She left Chris like in the middle of the gym when he came out to talk to her, and
Chris
she
was
like,
clearly
not
like
now.
not expecting that either. Chris was clearly just like,
I don't want to talk about it.
And he just stood in the middle of the basketball court by himself.
But you know that it's gonna be drama because Chris doesn't just show up to stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
he's not just around. Like, Chris is in his mansion in Southern California somewhere. Like, he's not just there. He's probably driving like a Corvette through the south of Italy or something like that.
The west of south of Italy.
I don't know where Chris is. Where in the world is Chris? Anyway, great episode, all things considered. We're looking forward to the next episode where we get to see what happens to DeMario. Somebody gets a bloody face. Somebody gives Freddie, the wrestler.
It's not the wrestler. I can't remember his name.
I thought the wrestler got punched in the face.
Yeah, but his name isn't Fred.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is either. Frank?
I don't know.
His name begins with an F.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
He gets a punch in the face or something. The Bachelor Nation shows have done a really good job of making that stuff seem like crazy hyped up.
And then you see it, and it's like, oh, he fell in the shower.
It's like somebody got hit with like a grape or something like that, and now they're bleeding. Like, it's like always the dumbest. That's not a true story. They're always the dumbest stories.
If you're interested in what we're talking about, interested in watching our reactions to it, subscribe to our channel. And below, you can do that below. And we have a whole playlist for specifically Bachelorette episodes. And also this week we'll be doing a real quick down and dirty video of us answering our questions for
the Final Fantasy draft.
The fantasy draft, the Bachelorette Fantasy League questions for next week. And just remember that if you are interested in playing, you can look up Present Tenses on the Bachelorette Fantasy League page and join our group to play along. So thank you so much for watching.
Absolutely. The final thing to send you off with is that when we're watching this show, Megan or I will be live tweeting, or both of us will be live tweeting from the @Present Tenses, capital P, capital T, Twitter handle. So check it out, follow it. We'll be talking about other stuff too, but right now we're just super hyped on The Bachelorette. And you're watching this too, so are you. So follow, it's good for you. All right, I think that's it for now.
Awesome.
What do you think?
Yep.
Okay.
Goodbye, folks.
Hope the phone's not dead.
Put on the date and we're talking present tense.